The Tektronix TBS2000 series has more features and performance than you'd expect from an entry-level scope. Choose from 2 models to suit your R&D or educational application: the compact 2-channel version or the 4-channel version for more complex challenges. Signals are easy to look at on the 9-inch high-resolution display. Many scopes have 10 horizontal divisions and 8 vertical divisions, but the TBS2000 has 15 horizontal divisions and 10 vertical divisions, so you can see significantly more of your signal. Plus, the wider screen has plenty of room for waveform data, measurement results, and menu information. Long record length, up to 20 million samples, means you can capture long time periods. It's great for capturing signal anomalies and for looking at digital communications. Easily zoom in to see the fine details and pan to find important signal activity. Most of the time, you'll probably use edge triggering, but when you're hunting for trouble, the TBS2000 provides flexible triggers like pulse width and runt triggers. On-screen tips explain how they work. Pulse width and runt triggers are great for finding abnormal digital waveforms. The TBS2000 is built for taking measurements quickly and easily. Cursors make it easy to measure time differences, amplitude differences, or both at once. You can select from 3 different sets of cursors, and on-screen tips explain the differences. Readouts display measurement values right on the waveform display, just as you would draw them in your notebook. And you can use the overview window to position cursors anywhere in the acquisition record. Characterize your signals with any of the 32 automated measurements. Your most frequently used measurements are listed right at the top of the page. Gating lets you limit measurements to a specific part of your signal. Let's take a look at this pulse group here. You can get a quick snapshot of all measurements with a few button presses. Or you can select only the measurements you're interested in. Let's count the number of rising edges and get the amplitude and look at the max voltage. Graphical tips illustrate each measurement. Measurements are presented on a transparent panel which lets you see the readings, color-coded by channel, without obscuring the waveforms. These graphical tips you've been seeing are part of the Help Everywhere help system. If you're an expert and don't need the tips, you can always turn any or all of them off. With waveform math, you can subtract 2 channels to see a differential signal, or multiply a voltage and current signal to get a power waveform, or simply subtract one pulse signal from another. Press the FFT button to quickly see the frequency spectrum of your signal. The time domain source waveform can be displayed above the frequency spectrum, and a transparent readout shows scale factors and important settings. Saving screen captures, waveform data, or setups is easy. Just one button push saves your signal to a flash drive plugged into the front panel USB host port. Each TBS2000 comes with high-quality, CSA-approved 10x voltage probes, one for each channel. The Tech VPI probe interface supports standard BNC probes, but it also enables communication between the scope and the latest Tech VPI current and differential voltage probes to simplify setups and cover a wide range of applications. The scope has several alternatives for connecting to PCs and other devices, including USB and Ethernet. But the TBS2000 is also the first basic scope to support wireless communications using a Wi-Fi adapter. You set up the connection from the front panel of the scope. The scope has a built-in industry-standard LXI web server that lets you control it over Wi-Fi, a direct Ethernet connection, or over a network. The TBS2000 is built for design work and testing, but it's also designed to accelerate learning in educational labs. Whether you're a first-time user or just need to brush up, the Scope Intro Handbook can bring you up to speed on using an oscilloscope or using the controls on the TBS2000. The courseware function gives students access to lab instructions right on the scope. The scope's display can provide a range of information, from tips on making connections to step-by-step instructions. The TBS2000 is part of the three-element Tektronix courseware ecosystem, designed to help educators create and edit lab materials. The first element is the Online Courseware Resource Center, a hub for sharing lab instructions and ideas. Search for specific topics to download or upload your own lab materials to share with other educators. The second element is a Windows-based courseware editor that lets you edit lab exercises and download them into the TBS2000. The third element is the scope itself. With labs loaded into the scope, students can follow instructions and store measurements on their own flash drive to include in their lab report. And the TBS2000 is fully compatible with the TechSmartLab Lab Management System, a network system that enables instructors to pre-configure their whole lab with a mouse click and monitor and control multiple instruments from one instructor's station. The TBS2000 is built by Tektronix, incorporating years of expertise. It's backed by a 5-year warranty, so you'll have confidence in your measurements for years to come. The TBS2000 series. See more with a bigger display and longer record length. Measure more with handy cursors and powerful automatic measurements. All designed to help you innovate more.